So thank you all, especially for being here. And I'd like to begin by thanking the members of the Knox County Sheriff's Office for working day and night to help keep our community safe. I'm a little partial, but I do believe that they are among the very best and most professional law enforcement organizations across the state. I'm proud of the support that Knox County has given KCSO. During my first term in office, we increased KCSO pay by 17%. That doesn't include $6,000 in bonuses. That support continues today with the compromise that Sheriff Spangler and I reached yesterday. With this agreement, patrol officers will be receiving a 12% raise and corrections officers a 27% raise. That means starting patrol officers will be paid $51,100 and corrections will start at $50,100. These are historic raises and place our officers among the highest paid in the state. According to data from the County Technical Assistance Service, the state average for corrections is almost 48% higher. Our new pay will be 48% higher than current state average for corrections, and for patrol, it will be 30% higher than state average. And thanks to the hard work and expertise of County Finance Director Chris Caldwell and KCSO Finance Director Allison Rogers, we can achieve these numbers without raising taxes or cutting services. Thanks also to County Commission for their input throughout this process, especially to Commissioners Frazier and Oster, who weren't able to be here today, for asking difficult questions. That isn't easy and doesn't always happen in politics, but it always should. And make no mistake, each and every Knox County Commissioner is as big a supporter of law enforcement and KCSO as I am. So thank you all very much for what you've done throughout this. Finally, I'd like to thank Sheriff Spangler for his professionalism and friendship. Sometimes in situations like this, where people are passionate about issues, but coming at those issues from different perspectives, things can be very volatile and contentious. But I knew that that would not happen in this case because of the type of man Tom Spangler is. I'm blessed to have him as a friend, and Knox County is fortunate to have him as sheriff. So at this point, I'd like to turn things over to Knox County Sheriff Tom Spangler.
I hate coming behind you. I'm going to go first one time. That way you have to raise it.
We're a pretty good team most of the time.
Most of the time. Well, thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for being here as well. And thank you, Commissioners. Thank you all for working with us and making this possible. Let me start out by saying a big thank you to a couple of people, and I know I'm skipping around a little bit, but I want to say thank you to my Finance Director, Allison Rogers, and to the County Finance Director, Chris Caldwell. Both of them have worked tirelessly on this and putting numbers together. I couldn't be more grateful to both of them for what they've done, and I appreciate what you've done. So thank you both. I'm grateful we're here today. It's a huge step forward in finding permanent solution to the shortages we're facing in law enforcement corrections here in Knox County. I want to clarify that the negotiations have never been about Mayor Jacobs or me. The focus has been on the safety of our officers and the citizens of this county, Knox County. It has been about keeping my promise of doing the right thing. So with that being said, I look over to my friend, Mayor Jacobs, and I say, thank you. Doing the right thing is working for or toward fixing the pay for hardworking men and women who put their life on the line that separates good and evil. In life, we will never have everything we want or desire, but that does not mean we don't work together towards those goals. Today, I'm pleased we have come to an agreement that moves us significantly further toward the goal of being one of the top law enforcement agencies in our area, an agency where people can serve and do what they have been called to do while providing better life for those and their families. I believe Mayor Jacobs will agree with me. More work must be done. Still, we are moving in a better direction by having more competitive salary for corrections and law enforcement and creating a safer community to live, work, and raise our families. I wonder where I got that from. I am honored to serve as your sheriff, and I remain committed to doing the right thing. I remain committed to the safety of our men and women and the citizens of Knox County. And I promise the men and women who protect and serve that I will continue to advocate on their behalf until my last day in office. They deserve it. Knox County deserves the best standing watch over them. Thank you all for your time. To the men and women at the Knox County Sheriff's Office, you are very much appreciated, and it is an honor to lead this agency. Thank you all for what you do. Again, I want to thank these two that are coming up right now, Allison and Chris, and they will be able to answer any questions as far as numbers for you. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to them. So thank you again. Mayor, thank you for the fight that everybody has said that we've had. It's been enjoyable. I didn't get thrown out of the window, so I appreciate that very much. So thank you.
I suppose at this point, Allison and I are here to answer any questions that the media may have, so have at it.
How much more will these races cost?
Fair question. The net number will be about $3.975 million. That would be the amendment to the budget for this year that will cover the salaries that the mayor and the sheriff mentioned.
Do you have a start date on this?
July 1, assuming that it passes county commission
This July.
this July.
Where's the additional money coming from without raising the budget?
So ultimately, we know we're going to have future savings in pension. One of the things that the mayor and the sheriff agreed to is a cap of compensation into UOP of 3%. That will save $19 million over the next 20 years. So we're going to front load some of that money to pay for these increases. But in doing so, we're also going to raise revenue of state inmate, interest income for the county, and delinquent taxes and business tax that will offset this money. And that amendment will be presented to county commission as a budget amendment on Monday.
Can you explain the pension thing a little bit more? 3%.
So ultimately, it's this. So what would be going before the Knox County Retirement and Pension Board this month would be that compensation annually is capped at 3%. So take an example that we're going to use today. So if there is a patrol officer who happens to be in UOP who is getting a 12% raise, 3% is pensionable, 9% is would be non-pensionable.
Because the number of people in that program is capped, you can calculate that out.
And that's how we get to that calculation. We talked to our actuary, who's really good with numbers, and he gave us the number of 19 million over 20 years.
Do you all have to cut any positions to pay for this?
The sheriff has agreed to cut 29 positions in order to make this happen.
And where are those positions coming from? What's the impact?
They're in our corrections division. The 29 positions are, and the impact's around $1.9 million.
Yeah, unfilled. They are unfilled. Mike Steele, did you have something else?
How long is the agreement?
The agreement,
Just a one-year agreement?
sure. Ultimately, the agreement set forth on starting salaries is for 1 year, but also there's an agreement between the mayor and the sheriff to work together on future budgets, which we always do. So there's really, we can't tie the hands of future mayors and future sheriffs. And so this really just goes further next until they're out of office in like 2.5 years, 3 years, call it 3.
Does it actually change the proposed budget?
Sure. So what we will do is we will bring an amended budget to county commission, and the general fund will increase by $3.975 million. So the general fund budget will go to 220.9. And that will be what we would present to commission on Monday at the, at that budget vote at 5 o'clock, I think, Chair Lady.
Did you all look at the salaries and the wages of KPP as far as patrol goes, and how does this compare?
We did. Patrol for KPD, when they're a recruit, they are paid 43,000 and some change. And then once they graduate from the academy, it goes to 46,000. They do have a tiered program though that we don't currently have, where, after so many years, they get another bump in pay. So we are definitely now competitive with KPD.
And you weren't before.
We were not before.
How did you decide on the 12% raise and the 27%?
There was a C-test study and also a comp study that Knoxville did. And then we also looked to the attorney that we had hired and his expert.
How does it feel to finally have a compromise and have something going forward?
Allison and I just never talk, so it's first for us. I think a lot gets made of this, right? But it's not like the mayor and the sheriff don't talk and don't have conversations. And so we had conversations going back to February, and they continued, right? And so you're always having conversations, and you're looking for compromise. And these two gentlemen found that compromise.
With the two starting salaries being so close, the corrections and the deputies, doesn't most patrol come out of corrections?
They do. A lot of counties are moving toward pay parity now, where corrections and patrol make the same in several counties. So that was one of the sheriff's main goals, is to get the entry-level salary for corrections and patrol up, which this did significantly.
The way how things have been today in this, across the world with police and everything that's going on, has it been hard to recruit people to come, and will this hopefully help fill that role and bring more people to Knoxville?
It has been very difficult to recruit. With this, I do hope we'll see a turn, that we'll be able to recruit more. So yeah, we're very hopeful that this new starting salary, will make a difference.
Are all of the raises, you're fine, are there raises for everybody in the sheriff's office, or are we just raising starting pay? How does that filter out?
So the raises that the mayor and the sheriff talked about, whether you're in corrections or patrol, those are captain and below. And so that's what those raises were that they talked about. Chiefs will be a 5% raise, and civilians are at a 3% raise.